Hello everyone, it's nice to meet you again and welcome back to the Kenyan Anarchist. Today we will be discussing the 2017 general elections rigging scheme in Kenya and especially the assassination of Chris Msando. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. After leaving the office, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has always branded himself as a pro-media and pro-democracy individual. The reality, however, is far from what he is trying to portray, since every Kenyan can see through the hyena in him while he covers himself in sheep's clothing. There were many cases of potential assassination, oppression, many directed in silencing and dissenting voices and achieving political objectives no matter the cost. While the number of political assassinations during Uhuru's tenure is estimated to be in the tunes of hundreds, if not thousands, some of the most prominent cases include the assassination of Jacob Joma, assassination of Chris Msando, Meshak Sebei, and even George Muchai. Perhaps the most prominent assassination in the regime of the former President Uhuru Kenyatta was an assassination that continued to live in the hearts of Kenyans and even for years to come: the brutal torture and murder of IEBC chairman and manager Chris Msando. In a country where election rigging and ballot stuffing is the order of the day, Chris Msando might have bit too much, more than he can chew, to call for a free and fair election. Some words are better left unsaid, but the assassination of Chris Msando taught us that the political class will chop at nothing when it comes to someone standing in their way, including election rigging, torture, and eventual assassination. The Nyayo regime is often referred to as the era of political assassination, persecution, and dictatorship in Kenya. The former President Daniel Moi is often referred to as the single individual who killed many Kenyans and tortured many compared to any other president in the country's history. For political prisoners in Nyayo House, President Moi suspended the constitution, ordering torture and execution on a scale that was never witnessed in the country until that time. Borrowing from Moi's book, the former President Uhuru Kenyatta was no different. The large number of assassination and torture during the regime of the former President Uhuru Kenyatta left a big hole in the hearts of Kenyans that will be very difficult to fill. Uhuru Kenyatta was not an excellent person, and many would like you to believe that he was a bloodthirsty rogue president who clung to power no matter the cost. In many cases, he postponed the constitution to serve his interest, angering Kenyans who were ruling with an iron fist. One of the most notable public display of Uhuru's suspension of the constitution was the deportation of Miguna
in Kenya after the failed attempt to deport him a second time in direct contravention of court orders.
Just after he stole the 2017 general elections. To steal the 2017 presidential elections, only one man was standing on his way: the ICT manager Chris Msando. In the current Kenyan situation, it is always challenging, if not impossible, to steal an election. A proper coordination with IEBC insider is always necessary for the desired outcome. Thanks to the strict measures against election interference and counter-rigging mechanism, blocking or eliminating the election rigging process is always easy, which bestows absolute power to the IEBC officials. At the same time, the public believes that their votes count. The election rigging in the Republic of Kenya is preventable. Still, political goodwill must be ensured to ensure free and fair elections in the government and IEBC bodies. On the eve of election in 2017, Kenyans were closer to free and fair election since 2002 until assassination scheme intervened to subvert the process. On July 28, 2017, the former IEBC manager Chris Msando went missing. Little did Kenyans know that political assassination and political class was doing something behind the curtain. It will be the last time that they saw him alive. Only 2 days later, on July 30th, 2017, Moses Kuria posted, and I quote, "So this is Chris Msando, which right now here at Roysambu. The idiot is enjoying sweet time with a woman. That's fine, but why lie about it? Kenyans are about to pay the ultimate price for this man's cowardice. May God protect Kenya." On July 31st, 2017, the lifeless body of IEBC chair manager Chris Msando, alongside the body of young medical student, was discovered by the locals in Kikuyu Forest. The body of the woman in question was possibly strangled with no significant injuries. Still, it is the state of the body of Chris Msando that laid strong evidence that the assassination was a plot to rig the 2017 general elections. At first look, the body of the former IEBC manager showed strong evidence of someone who endured extreme torture, including injuries, beatings, and stabbings. His fingers and some toes were cut off, mutilated, and missing. Strong evidence that the mission to kill him was to get IEBC server login, credential, and bypass multi-step authentication systems. The primary role of torture was to force him into revealing the IEBC server passwords, something that he possibly did to save himself, but he was killed anyway. Words alone can never fully describe the brutality that Kenyans witnessed in the assassination of Chris Msando during Uhuru's tenure. Quoting Uhuru's reaction to the discovery of bodies,
"Pole kwa wale ambule amepoteza maisha yake juzi, na tunasema kwa polisi wafanye haraka kumaliza upelelezi wao ndio tujue ni nini, na wahakikishe ya kwamba tuwataka wote wapatiwe ulinzi wa kutosha, kwa sababu hatutaki mtu yeyote aumie, hatutaki mtu yeyote atumie excuse ya kusema hatutakuwa na uchaguzi."
I want to ensure all Kenyans that the government will do everything possible to ensure that the perpetrators of this heinous crime are brought to book. We are working very hard, very closely with the police, and as I said yesterday, we will leave no stone unturned. In a country where the police serve the people in power, it will indeed be impossible to find justice for people like Chris Msando. While Uhuru's reaction to the incident was highly underwhelming, his warning to Kenyans was even shocking, giving a solid indication of cover-up. Quoting Uhuru, "I urge Kenyans not to speculate on or spread false information that can increase tension. Let us allow authorities to do their work and avoid statements that may incite or cause unnecessary fear among our people. In a country where justice belongs only to the few elites in the confines of power, warning people not to discuss problems that face them only serve to bury their justice that the public deserve. The killing of Chris Msando is an open secret within the corridors of power in Kenya. It has never been whether there is no investigative capacity to ensure justice for those who lost their loved one, but rather lack of political goodwill to serve justice to those people. The investigations by the police in the case of Chris Msando were not a credible investigation, but the cover-up by the police in the process. It doesn't take PhD in computer science or forensic analysis to find facts from Moses Kuria, who already confessed to knowing who killed Chris Msando. The reaction of Uhuru regime to threat by Moses Kuria that he was going to reveal the person who killed Chris Msando also add up to strong evidence that such assassination was a state-sponsored murder. Immediately, Moses Kuria threatened to reveal the person who killed Chris Msando. The government was quick to withdraw his security, including reassigning them to other duties. Being the former president should never be used as an obstruction of justice. The former President Uhuru Kenyatta needs to answer to Kenyans on the death of Chris Msando. It is time that the President Ruto's regime should follow up on the series of murders and torture in the era of former president, if they have any ounce of credibility left. The Gen Z movement should take charge of justice by occupying the Kenyatta family. It is time to act, and Kenyans need answers.